All right, let's talk about it. It's that time of the semester, and if you're in university, you know exactly what that means. Exam season is here. So today we are diving into a complete toolkit designed to help you not just get through it, but actually conquer exam stress.
Does this question just hit a little too close to home? That feeling of being totally swamped with books piling up and the clock just ticking and ticking and ticking? It's a heavy, heavy weight, and man, it can feel like you're the only one going through it. But listen, and this is super important, you are absolutely not alone. This is basically a rite of passage for students everywhere. And just knowing that this is a shared struggle, that's the real first step to getting a handle on it. Okay, so let's get into it. Before you can fight a monster, you've got to know what it looks like, right? So what exactly is exam stress?
So at its heart, it's just our body and mind kind of freaking out because of all this pressure. It's not just about the tests themselves, but that deep down fear of what happens if you fail, and just the build up to it all. It's a totally natural response, even if it feels awful.
So how does this whole thing actually show up? Well, mentally, it can feel like that brain fog, where you're staring at a page but nothing's going in. Physically, it can totally mess with your sleep or give you those tension headaches or a knot in your stomach. That's your body's alarm system just going haywire. The trick is to recognize these signs in yourself so you can start to take back control.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk solutions. This is the good stuff. We're going to build your proactive battle plan, and we're going to focus on the two biggest things you actually have control over: how you study and how you manage your time.
A solid plan is your absolute best defense against that feeling of chaos. Don't even try to swallow the whole textbook in one night. It's impossible. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. Schedule short, regular breaks, and please don't see them as being lazy. They are essential. That's when your brain actually processes everything and locks it into long-term memory. And when you study, be active about it. Summarize chapters in your own words, make flashcards. That's what builds strong connections in your brain. Way better than just reading a line over and over again.
And when you look at it laid out like this, it becomes so clear. You've got two paths in front of you. On one side, you have procrastination, which always leads to late-night cramming and sky-high stress. But on the other side, proactive planning. It might feel like more work up front, but it builds confidence and, let's be real, gets you better results. The choice is totally yours to make.
Let's get even more practical. Take that massive to-do list and triage it. What has to be done today? What can wait? Break those huge, scary tasks like study for finals into tiny steps, like review Chapter 3 notes. And hey, when you finish a small goal, reward yourself. Seriously, go for a walk, watch an episode of a show. That little reward actually helps reinforce the good habit. And yes, this is the hard one. Put the phone away, just for a bit.
But look, you can have the most perfect, color-coded study schedule on the planet, but if you are running on fumes, it's all for nothing. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury during exam season, it is your single most important asset.
And this chart, it shows it perfectly. And what's wild is, look at that. Studying is the biggest piece of the pie, sure, but it's still less than half of your day. Sleep is right behind it for a very good reason. That's when your brain does its housekeeping and cements what you learned. Leisure, exercise, good food, those aren't extras. They are a non-negotiable part of the formula for success.
So here's what you can actually do. Think of this as your self-care checklist. Move your body, even if it's just a 15-minute walk. It burns off that nervous energy. Make sleep a priority. Fuel your brain with actual nutrients, not just caffeine and sugar. Take 5 minutes to just breathe deeply. It literally calms your nervous system down. And please don't hide away. Talk to your friends. And remember, your professors and advisors, they actually want you to succeed. Talk to them.
And hey, on that note, if all this stress starts to feel like it's just too much to handle by yourself, remember that every university has people whose entire job is to help you through this. Using those counseling services is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of incredible strength.
Okay, so we've got our plan, we're taking care of ourselves, but there's one more piece to this puzzle, and honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all, your mindset. Because at the end of the day, how you think about this whole challenge can change absolutely everything. I want you to really think about this for a second. What if you stop seeing an exam as this big, scary judgment on your worth? What if instead you saw it as a chance, an opportunity to see how far you've come, to challenge yourself, and to actually grow? It's a huge mental shift.
So how do you actually do that? Well, for starters, be real with yourself. You're not a robot. Aim for progress, not perfection. And give yourself credit for the hard work you're putting in, no matter what the result is. Did you finish a tough chapter? That's a win. Celebrate it. And most importantly, that little voice in your head, the one that's super critical, you got to talk back to it with some positive self-talk. It feels cheesy at first, but it works. Because a grade is just a piece of data. It is not and never will be a measure of who you are.
So here's the bottom line. You are not powerless in this. You're not just getting swept away by exam stress. From planning to self-care to shifting your mindset, you have an entire toolkit right here. You are more than capable of handling this.
And that brings us to the most important question of all. If that number on the page doesn't define you, then what does? Maybe success is just the effort you put in. Maybe it's the resilience you showed when things got tough or what you learned about yourself through the process. I'll leave you with that. Good luck out there.